In this session, we will discuss admin preferences in Primavera P6. Now let's move on to the admin preferences topic. To open it, go to Menu by Admin Preferences. Here you will find several tabs. General, Data Limits, ID Length, Time Periods, Earned Value, Reports, Options, Rate Types, Industry, Exception Site List. These settings are typically configured by the organization administrator and are applied at the organizational level. Let's go through each of these one by one. The first option is General. A code separator defines how WBS codes are displayed. By default, the separator is a dot. For example, a WBS code may appear as 26.1. Here, there is the code separator. If you change the separator to another symbol such as or underscore, the new separator will apply only to newly created projects. Existing projects will continue to use the separator that was defined when they were created. Starting day of the week. This option defines the first day of the week used throughout the application. For example, you can choose Sunday, Monday, or any other day. The selection should follow your organization's standard calendar. Date filter. Select this option to make the filter calculate the time frame from the beginning of the current day, week, or month. Activity duration. This option defines the default original duration for newly created activities. By default, every new activity is created with an original duration of 5 days. For example, if you create a new activity, its duration will automatically be 5 days. If you change this setting to 4 days in admin preferences, every new activity created afterward will have a default duration of 4 days. Existing activities will not be affected. Password policy. This section defines the organization's password requirements. The second one is the Data Limits tab, which defines the maximum hierarchy levels allowed within the application. For example, you can specify the maximum number of WBS levels, activity code, hierarchy levels, other hierarchical structures. ID length. This tab defines the maximum number of characters allowed for various IDs. Examples include Project ID, Activity ID, Resource ID. The maximum character length for each ID type can be configured here. The Time Periods tab defines the default time conversions used by Primavera P6 whenever a project calendar is not available. This section also displays the standard abbreviations used for time units. In most situations, it is recommended to keep the default settings. This section controls the default earned value calculation methods. The first part is Technique for computing performance % complete. This option determines how performance % complete is calculated. For example, if activity % complete is selected, the performance % complete will be based on the activity's progress. If WBS milestone % complete is selected, the performance calculation will follow the WBS milestone progress instead. These settings can be controlled from Admin Preferences and WBS Details level. Opening project to demonstrate this. Changes made at the WBS level affect only that particular project or WBS. If you see currently here selected activity % complete. Therefore the performance % completes taken from activity % complete. Now, if I change the option from activity % complete to WBS milestone % complete, you can see that the performance % complete changes to 0. This happens because no progress values have been entered at the WBS level. Next is Technique for computing estimate to complete. This option determines how estimate to complete is calculated. The appropriate method should be selected according to your organization's project control procedures. For your information, PF stand for performance factor. Earned value calculation section. This section defines the earned value calculation method used for the project. The selection should be based on your organization's project management methodology. For most users, the default settings are appropriate. The Reports tab controls report-related settings such as Report Header, Footer, Report Sections, These options are better explained in detail when discussing the Reports module. This tab contains several general application settings. Examples include summarization periods, online help, document security warnings, cost spread calculations. Primavera P6 allows you to define up to 5 different rate types. By default, they are price per unit 1, price per unit 2, price per unit 3, price per unit 4, price per unit 5. These can be renamed based on your organization's requirements, such as standard rate, internal rate, external rate, etc. In this tab, you should select the industry that best matches your organization or project. Currently here selected engineering and construction. The exception site list allows administrators to define websites that should be treated as exceptions under the organization's security policies. These are the main settings available in the admin preferences of Primavera P6. Most of these settings are configured once by the system administrator before project execution begins and are rarely changed by end users. Therefore, understanding the purpose of each setting is more important than changing them. Keeping the default settings is generally recommended unless your organization's standards require otherwise.